One region we never talk about when it comes to weapons is Southeast Asia, specifically Indonesia, as it's home to a wide variety of swords, varying from each region. So, to give the region justice, I'll be covering the weapons in Indonesia from each region, ranging from the most well-known to the most obscure. To keep in mind, due to obscurity and lack of information for some of the swords, I'll use sites like Wikipedia, as they're the only website that could provide detailed information. One of the most well-known swords in Indonesia is the kris. Originating from Java in the 10th century, the kris is known for its asymmetrical design and wavy blade, with the sheath either made out of wood, iron, or gold. The blade is stylized into 40 different aesthetic variants, called a dapur. Along with the dapur is a pamor, which is used to describe the different types of decoration within the blade, of which there's 120, skillfully crafted by the imphis with precision. In addition to the krises being used as weapons, it's also used for religious ceremonies and a decoration worn every day by both men and women, as a sign of social status handed down through successive generations. It's also believed to possess magical powers when wielding it. Although an important weapon in Javanese society, recently it saw a massive decline with the rise of globalization, in addition to the imphis, which will cease to exist if the trend continues. Despite its decline, the kris is widely recognized in Southeast Asia, which is depicted in some flags. It also saw some outside recognition, notably fire emblem. The Karambit is another notable weapon in Indonesia, which gained popularity by the tactical community and games such as CSGO. Although the region where the weapon is from is unclear, according to legend, it's said to be based out of a tiger's claw, hence its claw-like shape. Not only the weapon can be concealed easily, it can also be used for multifunctional purposes, such as farming and construction, which its widespread appeal allows the Karambit to spread into Southeast Asia and eventually into the West, where first it popularized by Filipino and Indonesian martial artists during the martial arts boom of the 70s and 80s, which in turn spreads into tactical gear and eventually into video games. Moving from the well-known weapons and into the regional ones, the Ikan is a type of cutlass or kelewang weapon from the Oceania people of northern Sumatra. The sword featured a curved hilt with splits in the end, complemented with a machete-like blade. The weapon is widespread throughout northern Sumatra, and it's customary that a sultan appointing a local lord, or ulambang as military commander, receives a Ikan with a single crown on the hilt. Like the Ikan, the rakan is a dagger-like weapon that originated in Aceh, but was heavily influenced by the kris, noted by its curved hilt and asymmetrical design. Like the kris, is also worn for everyday use as a part of their garment by both men and women. During the Aceh War, both weapons proved to be deadly against Dutch troops, who wielded cutlasses and bayonets, but many cases of Dutch casualties are attributed to the rakan. It wasn't until the adoption of the Ikan when the Dutch were able to conquer Aceh. After the war, Dutch authorities attempted to disarm civilians and ban them from wearing it, but the Oceanians were able to bypass this by developing a chuka kit, which effectively made the rakan easier to conceal. Moving into Borneo, the Pendant was a cutlass-type weapon from the Dayak people, specifically for raids and headhunting expeditions. The Pendant featured a curved hilt, with iron rods acting as handguards, and the blade either straight or bent. In combat, the Pendant proved to be effective as an offensive weapon, capable of cutting off a person's head as intended, but due to its heavy blade and design, it performs poorly as a defense weapon. In Sulawesi, the Botique was a dagger-like weapon used by both the Bugis and Makassar peoples, consisting of a curved tilt along with a straight single or double-edged blade. It is used as dueling weapons, in which both men agree to fight till the death with no outside force from stopping them, with the winner being celebrated for its bravery and masculinity. In addition, the weapon is believed to possess magical powers, which can give the owner either good or bad luck. Going to Nusa Tenggara Islands, the Surik plays an important role in the Bulu society, as it is believed to have supernatural abilities, which is determined by a council to decide who can wield it, as no commoner can hold a sword. In addition, the Surik is also featured in the coat of arms in Timor. It's difficult enough to find information for half of these swords, But for the Moluccas, I couldn't find any information of any weapon coming from the region. But from my knowledge, they probably have used a pade, which although comes from Sulawesi, they were exported to the Moluccas Islands. As for the sword itself, it features a curved hilt with a knuckle guard added later as a result of European contact into the region. The blade also has a similar design to that of the padat, albeit straight. Finally, in Papua we have the pitsui, which was a dagger from the Asma people, used in both combat and religious ceremonies. It's unique from other weapons in Indonesia, as it's made out of cumin or cassowary bone rather than metal. In addition, the hilt is lavishly decorated with cassowary feathers as an indicator of social status. There's more weapons in Indonesia I did not mention, but those are the ones I want to highlight from each region. So that concludes our episode. If you want to know that my video is credible, I have citations listed below for you to see. Unlike most hack historians, I'll see you later.